Welcome to New Mobility Live. I am Teal. My guest is Tony Award winner Ali Stroker, who can now add author to the list of her accomplishments. The April issue of New Mobility magazine is now available at newmobility.com. And if you're not familiar with New Mobility, we're United Spinal Association's membership magazine for active wheelchair users. You get a free subscription when you join United Spinal, which is also free. Ali, I am so happy to have you here.
Thank you for having me, Teal. It's so good to see you.
The Chance to Fly, which you co-wrote, is available for pre-order now and will be released on April 13th. Tell us about the book.
It's about a girl who moves from California to New Jersey, and she's really into wheelchair racing. And one day at her first practice in New Jersey, she sees a flyer for an audition for Broadway Bounders, and they're doing the musical Wicked. And so she decides that she's going to audition. She's never done a show before. She's a huge theater fan. And we follow her journey of doing her first show ever and making new friends and her first crush. And then, of course, there's a twist and there's a big problem. And we see how Nat Beacon, the main character, solves this huge thing in the book, and it's really fun. And I think that even though it's a middle grade book, I think it's kind of for everyone.
I totally agree with that. It's such a great read, and it brought me back to my early teenage years. So, how was it developing a character and story that is so personally connected to you?
It was really amazing to create this character who is very much based on me and Stacy. I so wished I had something like this when I was a teenager, but it was also really vulnerable to write some of the more in detail parts of my life and what it felt like to be a teenager in a wheelchair, and how in so many ways I felt like I had to be really brave for the world, for everyone. And then in this book, you sort of see more of Nat's vulnerable insecurities as well. And that meant so much to me to be able to share those finally now, after all those years of trying to protect.
From shows like Spelling Bee to Spring Awakening and Oklahoma, for which you won the Tony, you have spent a lot of time on stage. And when performing live, things do not always go as planned. Do you have a favorite performance mishap?
Yes, I do. We were about 200 shows into Oklahoma. And one night we're in the middle of Farmer and the Cowman, which is the big dancing number. And there's one part where Will Parker pulls me across the stage. And he's pulling me across the stage. And all of a sudden, I feel myself flying forward in my wheelchair. And I tumble right on out. And he picks me up, and of course, the chair begins to roll away. And then Allie Hackham, who's my other boyfriend in the show, came up behind, grabbed my chair because he sort of knew the vocabulary of how I get in and out of my chair. And he helped get me back in my wheelchair, and then we kept going with the dance. But my adrenaline was flying. I was so scared. And I wondered if anybody saw it in the audience. And afterwards, I had a few friends there, and I was like, "Did you see that?" And they were like, "Yeah, we saw it." And I was like, "Did you know it was a mistake?" And they were like, "Yeah, only because of your face." And I was like, "Darn it! I wish that I had covered it up better," but I was so shocked because I had done it so many times.
You got engaged last year. Congratulations.
Thank you. I can't believe it was last year because I keep forgetting that it's 2021.
In last month's March issue of New Mobility, we asked readers to weigh in on the term interabled, which is being used more and more to describe a couple in which one person is disabled and the other is not. Most of those we polled disliked the term, and about 20% liked it. What are your thoughts on interabled?
You know, it's a new word to me. I really haven't heard it until like the past few years. And I think it's nice. I mean, I have always been the kind of person who doesn't feel supercharged around labels because I've been called so many different things in my life, and so I don't mind the term at all. I think it's nice, interabled. It's not something that I would use to describe my relationship because it's not familiar enough to me. But if somebody asks, "Are you in an interable relationship?" I would say, "Yes, I am, and proud to be."
Allie, thank you so much for being here. And thank you all for watching. The Chance to Fly is available wherever you buy books. Bye, everyone.